Hello everyone. Once again, I would like to welcome you to my YouTube channel for this other episode where we are talking about information literacy and how it helps us in our day-to-day life. So today we have come again with another area of information literacy, and we shall be going through it also so that we can continue widening in our understanding and knowledge of knowing this. So today we are going to look about plagiarism and what they call plagiarism in to the fullest of our understanding so that we know how it operates in information literacy. So today we are understanding plagiarism, the types, consequences, prevention strategies as well. It is still presented to you by Search Anita from Google University. So not to waste a lot of time, you want to know what the definition of plagiarism is. Plagiarism is simply presenting someone else's work as your own without proper citation. In the same way, it includes words, ideas, images, and data that can be cheating or poor referencing. When you reference what is not yours in simple terms. We have the types of plagiarism. That's in the same way of the definition where we have the direct plagiarism. This is copying text word for word without citation. You copy completely everything, but then you're not citing the thing or giving it the reference to back up what you're speaking about. We also have self-plagiarism. That is reusing your own previous work without permission. You're using your own work. You have been assuming you had an assignment earlier, you did it, and then they give you another assignment, and you give the very work that you presented last time. It's also a form of plagiarism. We have paraphrasing plagiarism, where we write ideas without giving credit. That's also a type of plagiarism. We have mosaic plagiarism. This is where we mix up phrases from sources without citations. You mix up something, this idea and this idea, but then you don't have the correct citation about it. Accidental plagiarism, where we are failing to cite or citing incorrectly. It's also a type of plagiarism. Then we have the examples of plagiarism, where we have direct, when specifically that's that. Then we have the examples. Examples are more or less the same as the types, where we have direct. This is where we copy a paragraph from a website or into an essay. And then we have the self, where we submit the same assignment for two courses. That's like I explained to you in the types. We have paraphrasing, where we do the work without changing a few words, but keeping the same idea without citing it. We also have mosaic, where we combine sentences from different sources. We have accidental, where we forget quoting marks or references. It is also another example. Then we have the consequences, some of the outcomes when you do plagiarism. What are some of the things that you should expect 100% to happen because you're copying something that has already been taking place? This is what we call the consequences. So among the consequences we have in academics, we have failing an assignment or course. For example, when a student receives a 0 for copied essay, where a student receives a 0 for copied because you copied, so you undermarked or you're not marked completely. In professions, we always lose jobs or we damage reputation because you want to copy something what your colleague has done before, and you want to copy it exactly the way the person had done it. We have, for example, a journalist is fired for copying articles. For example, I produce something and someone comes out to also produce the very same thing of a cane that I had produced before. That's also a form of plagiarism and an example. In the legal form, we have copyright, fingerprint, lawsuits in several cases. Personal, it is where you lose trust and credibility in that same way. So it is not a good thing or a good idea to carry on. So we have ways that we can prevent the plagiarism strategies. That's one of the ways is always citing our sources using APA, using AI, MLA, etc., and among others. We can use quotation marks for direct quotations. We can phrase properly and cite and still cite. We can use plagiarism detection tools. We can keep track for reference where researching. All in all, what I can tell you, plagiarism is not a good act that I cannot advise anyone to cope with. So always endeavor to see that you cite your work, reference it, so that you avoid some of these things. Thank you so much for staying tuned on my YouTube channel, for watching, and for being patient enough with me. We meet again in the next video as we learn together. Continue following, liking, and subscribing. Thank you.